Hey, 7K team, good news. Okay, today I will explain why everyone needs to be a member of 7K. And I literally mean that. Everyone needs to be a member of 7K. And hopefully, the information I share with you will also help you in talking with your prospects and following up and in answering questions. Uh, I've been doing this uh, with 7K since almost the beginning, the second week of their existence in 2016. And uh, one of the things that I'm seeing as we have evolved to be, really one of the largest, most innovative gold and silver companies in the world. Uh, More than 5.5 years ago, bringing on, the Max Vault and the SoundMoney wallet and its system, we basically have uh, uh, an analogy with everyone keeping their money in the bank, in your checking account, and you get to go online in your phones and or your computer or your tablet, and you get to see the amount of money you have, the deposits and the checks. And if you want to pay a bill, you're good at that. Most people can just electronically pay a bill right out of their checking account uh, to whoever invoiced them. Many banks accommodate that now. And so you see your dollars. But you and I, we all know that the bank does not have all of our dollars. If we say we got $80,000 in our checking account and savings account, they don't have $80,000 in that vault. They only have 10% of it that's sitting there. Now that's what they're supposed to have. So my money, your money, and all the other people who have an account at that particular bank, we add it all together, the millions and millions and tens of millions or the hundreds of millions. They only have 10% at any one time. That's why they can't accommodate us coming and taking a big hunk of cash out immediately. That's why you got to have an advance notice if you want $10,000 or more uh, to withdraw. Okay. Well, that's the banking system. Well, 7K has made gold and silver affordable to everyone with incremental buying through our Sound Money wallet. And that means that a person that's just starting out in life, getting their first job, just graduated from high school, not going to college, but just going to work, okay? And let's say it's a minimum wage job. That 19-year-old, 20-year-old, that person needs to learn how to save right then. And this is the best way that they can do it and gain or build wealth. They should be saving gold instead of dollars. And so I'm starting a program, and I think every one of you ought to do this. You ought to pick somebody in your family, and you probably have multiple, nephews, nieces, uh, maybe your own children, you know, get them started, explain what I'm going to explain today. Maybe you need to do this multiple times. Uh, and they get themselves an account. They can get a 149 account. They don't have to buy something every month. You can turn off the 7K Pro. Don't have to have it. No, they're not going to be participating in the income making. They're going to be participating in wealth building. They're going to learn about budgeting. They're going to learn about savings. Somebody needs to teach them because they haven't been taught it in their education. In the last 2-3 decades, children haven't been taught. I was taught how to balance a checkbook in my high school education. I was taught how to do a budget. So when I went out to work, I was prepared for what I was going to be facing. My children weren't even taught that. We had to teach our children to do that. My children weren't taught that in their education. And our grandchildren aren't taught that. We have to teach them. So our children and us, we've been teaching them. Well, now we need to take it that step further. And this is what I'm doing. I encourage everybody to do the same thing. Adopt somebody that's very young, that's willing to learn, that's willing to put some time in, that's willing to see and want to not just work all their life and not have anything, but to want to have at least to live the way in the standard of living you're living in. You say to get that, you have to do things. And if they're all enamored with crypto, say, okay, but you need to diversify. And there's nothing better than real gold and silver. It's real. It's not magic dust sitting there in the blockchain. Okay. And you can actually buy stuff with gold and silver. In other words, 7K made gold and silver transactional for the first time in history. When you and I can buy incremental gold at the best price in the marketplace for the amount that you're buying, and I've shown that if you want to buy it and physically hold it, you have to buy 0.5 gram or 1/100th of a gram. I mean, 1/100th of an ounce. The smallest bullion made is 1/100th of an ounce. Okay. Otherwise, you're buying 0.5 gram or a gram of gold bar that you can physically hold in your hand. And you're going to pay $5,000-$6,000 or more, 8,000, up to 9,000 an ounce for it. It'll take you forever to get your money back. But when you're holding it in your hand, what are you going to do with it when you need to turn it to cash in the future? Or if that emergency comes up? Hopefully you learn not to spend your savings in emergencies, but there are times when it has to happen. You just have no other alternative. Well, what are you going to do with that gram of gold in your hand? You're going to take it to the pawn shop. You're going to take it to the coin dealer. Well, let's think bigger than this. What happens when you need $50,000? So you got to sell $50,000 worth of gold and silver. Hey, that pawn shop is really never going, very few of them are going to be able to do business with you. And they're going to not want to pay you anywhere near what that gold is worth. And not even spot. They're not even going to give you a spot for it. Well, what about the coin dealer? Hey, you done got out of their league. They're going to be calling their broker that if they buy it, they can then sell it. And of course, they want to make a profit. And then the broker is going to want to make a profit. And then you're at the bottom of the totem pole. You're not going to get what you need because they see you coming. So what did 7K do? They allowed you to buy real gold and silver. It's actually stored in the SoundMoney wallet in the Max vault. And so let's say You buy 1/100th of an ounce. Jane buys 5/100th of an ounce. Larry buys 9/100ths of an ounce. But 7K has to have a 1 ounce bar sitting in that vault. So they bought the rest of it and they own the rest of it. But you own it and you get to see it in your SoundMoney wallet. You get to see how many ounces you have to 9 decimal points, 9 significant figures. You get to see the value of it, what's it worth, and you get to see exactly what you can sell it back to 7K to SoundMoney for, to SoundMoney. You can sell it back to SoundMoney with a click of a button. You can convert it to cash. That made it transactional. That means gold and silver are transactional. You can buy and sell stuff with it. Because when it's converted to cash, you can send it to your bank account and then you can pay the bills or buy whatever you need to buy. Everyone needs an account with 7K. Everyone. $129 is not going to break that young person. They just have to, come up with it. Now, if they're a nephew and a niece and if they are willing to work budgets, learn how to actually save, you could even gift them. That'd be a great gift for someone that's willing to learn how. Don't just give it away. They're not willing to learn how. If they're not willing to meet with you once a week for an hour. I guess I'm getting back to my old job description, aren't I? Second piece of paper and the 7 pieces of paper for success. A success system. First piece of paper applies because it's a commitment and it's time. Do you see how the 7 pieces of paper, my success system, really works if you duplicate it and you do the things that I share in it? Now, if a person is already working or they're retired, they need this worse than anybody if they don't have gold and silver already. So they need the $599 so they can build up to $50,000 paying no fees, no insurance, and it's immediately liquid, and it's better than holding money in the bank account, which they're losing every day. So let me get to sharing my screen to show the tools that you use. I will post this up on the band. I've got a lot of it already posted on the band app, everyone. Okay. It's just a matter of you finding my previous posts, the attachments that are there. And so let's just start with, here's going to be a PDF that I'm going to put up on the band app for you. Okay. Now this is the same stuff. You can download it there in your back office. But they have a keynote. They have a PDF back there. You can download it and you can pick and choose those things. What I've done is I've made my own. Okay. So how to build a wealth strategy. And you just let everyone know we're not financial advisors. We're just kind of sharing what we know about gold and silver, how to do it, and the places that we are comfortable at doing it with. People things you won't see advertised on TV. But this is what everybody is experiencing right now and have been for the last 20 plus years. But my question is, has any of you had a pay raise over this period of time that matches the lowest of any of these increases? I've never had a person say, yeah, me. I've not had one person say that yet. And then what's the likelihood of you getting increases as these things continue to increase? Oh, I agree that that Trump's economy has started to uh, calm down inflation. But look, 1.7% inflation is still inflation. It's rising above the prices. Okay. It's still inflation. Okay. And so the things that really matter, and why is that? It's because if you keep your money in the bank, this is what happens to it in purchasing power. It's a fact. It's a historical fact. And it's getting worse and worse because the government keeps printing up more to stay in business, to keep operating. They have to print up more because they spend more than they take in every year. Even now, they're still doing it. Okay. Okay. That's why everybody needs some gold and silver, and the way to get it is through 7K. Now, we're going to explain why you need gold and silver. So let's take the long-term example. 1965. Now, I like this because I graduated high school in 64. And so they came out with that Mustang in 65 when I was at LSU working on my chemical engineering degree, just beginning. It would take $2,500 or 2,500 1-ounce silver coins to buy that Mustang. Now, we're taught to save dollars. We're taught to save and invest in 401ks and IRAs, and that's still paper. It's paper equivalents. What if you would have saved a 1-ounce silver coin every week for your 60-year working career? Well, you would have had 52 ounces of silver saved and you could have afforded that because see, back in 1965, that was only $1. So that's like $4 a month. You could have afforded that, but you didn't do it. Don't worry, I didn't do it either. I didn't start till 1988. But this is the whole point. Let's learn from history and let's not let our next generations create the same mistakes. Well, you're retired, you still need a new car. Eventually that thing goes out and you got to have something to go back and forth with. Well, you go out and draw $2,500 out of your savings account or checking account or your 401k or your IRA, take it to the Ford store in 2024, and what could have you bought with it with $2,500? Down payment, 72 more months of payments you couldn't afford. But if you'd had those 2,500 1-ounce silver coins, you could buy two of them suckers, and have money left over to pay gas. Whoa. And you'd have had 100. See, 2,500 is not 3,100. You'd had 610 1-ounce coins left. Look at what they're worth. See, we're not taught to save gold and silver. In fact, we're taught nothing about gold and silver in our education. That's why we want to teach people. That's why we want to teach people, even that's retired, because they need to protect their wealth. But gold's a better example, y'all. Just look at average 3-bedroom, 2-bed, 1,500 square foot home in America costs $169,000 average in the year 2000, or 626 ounces. Now, how do you save 626 ounces? A piece at a time. And that's what we're going to show you that you can do for the first time in history. 7K brought it to the table. Because they want everyone to own some gold and silver because you're going to need it. But where are we going? But look, just in 24 years, that same house averaged over $500,000 in costs last year, 2024. But those same 626 ounces would have bought 3 of them suckers, $1.5 million worth. You know, if you'd had 626 ounces of gold in 2000, it'd be worth $1.5 million. Now y'all see where I had $360,000 in gold and silver in 2001 when I lost all that money in the stock market? How that $360,000 worth of gold and silver turned into $3.4 million. Oh, and that can happen to you. So let's don't look at such long examples. Let's say you have $1,000. You put it in the bank just 5 years ago, okay? And today or April, let's just do April, it adjusted for all that inflation is only worth $760. Well, if you'd have bought instead in January of 20 gold, you would have bought 0.65 ounce. And with 7K, you could have done that in your SoundMoney wallet. So being a member of 7K, you get a free SoundMoney wallet account. You don't have to pay $199 a year for it. Because if you go to sound.money, you'll see it's $199 per year. So what a savings. Get you a $149, and you can save up to $1,000 a gold with no fees and no insurance costs and immediately available to you anytime. Why is that worth? It's better to keep it there because that 0.65 ounces of gold in April of 25 is then worth $22.75. Whoa! And it's even worth more today. That if you'd have bought silver with it back in January 20, you'd have bought 55.5 ounces in your SoundMoney wallet on that at that time. Well, in April 25, that would have been worth that same 55.5 ounces would be worth $18.87. Now, which is better? $760 buying power, your $1,000, you still got $1,000 there, but it only buys you $760 worth of stuff. Or a buying power of $2,275 or $18.87. See, that's why everybody needs some gold and silver. Everybody needs to start saving it, and the way to do it is incrementally. But let's just look at another quick example. Let's just look at the last 3 years. If you would take and save $100 a month for 3 years, well, you would have ended up with $3,600. But it wouldn't be worth that because we have to discount it for inflation or its real buying power. But let's just say $3,600 because that's what you see in the balance in your checking account. But if instead you would have bought gold at your SoundMoney wallet, $100 a month for the last 3 years, you'd have ended up with 1.7843 ounces of gold, which would have been worth $4,639. Now, if you want to see how much it's worth today, I mean, this is what, June? Well, just take 1.7843 ounces, multiply it times $3,450. Oh, you'll see it's worth more than that. Well, let's just look if you'd had cash. So some people already retired. Some people have savings. But if you keep it in the bank over the last 3 years, you still have $10,000. That's what your balance says. You're not going to make a lot in interest. It's still going to be about $10,000. You and I both know that you don't make anything in interest. But look, it's really only worth a buying power of $8,360 when you adjust it for using the government's numbers. And we know that that's always a lot less than what it really is. But let's just use those for conservative sake speak. But if you'd have taken that $10,000 and bought gold in April 22 in your SoundMoney wallet, you'd have bought 5.56 ounces. Well, you still would have 5.65 ounces if you didn't buy any more. You still have 5 points, but that would be worth in April 25, $18,000. Hey, you want to know what it's worth today? Take 5.56 ounces. Do it with yourself on your own phone. Multiply 5.56 ounces times $3,450. Now you see what it is. It's worth a lot more. Even from April 2025 until June 25. That's why you need to be holding money in gold and silver. Same thing, if you'd have bought $10,000 worth of silver, you'd have 462.4 ounces of silver. Well, those same 462.4 ounces in April of 25 in your SoundMoney wallet would have been worth $15,259. Which would you rather have? $38,360 worth of cash buying power, $18,000 worth of buying power, or $15,259? The answer is pretty obvious to me. But if you don't have gold and silver, you don't have that. Bullion is your non-collectible defense strategy against inflation. It's just diversification. It's don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Don't keep dollar bills in the bank. Keep gold and silver in your SoundMoney wallet. Safe, secure, fully insured by Lloyd's of London. It doesn't get any better. And so we've built up that trust. We're 8.5 years old. We're established. We're not some new kid on the block making all kind of promises. We got a history of, we got people that have amazing stories, putting their money in SoundMoney wallet and being able to buy things today that they couldn't even think about affording 5 years ago. And what makes you think that story is going to be any different? See, that's what 7K did. We built a membership just for you, even for the retired person. Yeah, it's gold and silver has been way too complicated for people. That's why most people have been recommended, oh, don't even fool with gold and silver, because it's been just way too complicated. And people have been taken by all the advertisers and people making all these crazy promises, and people not investigating them, and doing their own due diligence and paying way too much for gold and silver. Why pay way? Buy it from a trusted source. Buy it from a place that thousands and thousands and thousands of people do, just like you and me every day. Get a 7K membership, and SoundMoney is made simple. Yep, you get to buy fractionally. You can buy it as low as $1 a day. So it makes it affordable to everyone, and you're not paying some ripped off price for it. You're actually paying about what the same price people that are buying 10, 20, 100 ounces for. They make it affordable to you and I. And they give you a mechanism in which gold and silver is fully transactional. And it's right there, I call it your gold and silver bank account. It tells you ounces, it tells what its value is today, and it tells you what you can sell it immediate. When you click on a button, you can sell it back to 7K, and they pay you one of the highest prices in the industry, if not the highest price in the industry. You get secure storage, so you don't have to worry about somebody coming and robbing you at your home from your gold and silver. You don't have to take out insurance from your house. So, hey, believe me, personal articles insurance on your home insurance is very expensive. Well, this is fully insured, and it's got to be there, and it's instant, quick liquidation. Or if you will want to have it in your hands, and you get a full ounce of silver coin, or a full ounce of gold coin or gold bar, or if you want a silver bar, it's 100 ounces, you get a full one. Well, you can then have it shipped to you. You pay the shipping and insurance cost. Well, they make it simple. SoundMoney. You can own gold and silver for as little as $1 a day, or you can do $5 a week, or you can do $30. But I tell people, get in the habit. Go and make a purchase once a week of something in your SoundMoney. Get your own self into a habit, and then get people to duplicate your habit, because that's what they should be doing. You're going to dollar cost average. You don't have to worry about, well, I'm going to buy when it's high and I'm going to buy when it's no. You just go and dollar cost average, just like if you're doing stocks, your 401k, or your high, all those things you were taught, apply it to gold and silver now, because now you can. Now you have a mechanism you can do that with. Your SoundMoney wallet, your max vault, through your 7K membership, which you get a free membership of 7K in the SoundMoney. You get a free SoundMoney membership with your 7K membership. Listen to that. That's very, very important. Now, click at a button, instant buyback. Hey, you don't have to worry about it. You can sell it to them. So how do you get started? Well, you get started with one of the two memberships of 7K. The basic is $149. Now, it's valued at over $457. We can go through the buildup of that value for you if you want. But you're going to get 3 websites. You're going to get 3 different businesses. You're going to have opportunity to participate in a lot of other membership benefits if you desire. But I'm not even going to, we don't even need to go through all that, because the value of the membership, $149, is worth it just to get your SoundMoney wallet account. Period. End. That's it. And if you don't think it's worth it, then that's okay. I'll come back and see you next month or next year. But if you're working, you're retired, you're already in your working career, you need the Legacy $5.99 membership. Why do you need the $5.99? It's a one-time, lifetime membership. And yeah, it's valued at over $867, but you're going to get it today for $5.99. Here's why. I'm only going to talk about 2 things. You know, when you get a Costco membership, they just give you a card. Or Sam's Warehouse membership, they just give you a card. You get a 7K membership, that $149 membership, they're going to put $20 of gold into your SoundMoney wallet for you. So they're going to start you off with a little gold. And then you're going to be able, for the young people, this is why I want them, they can buy $5 a week. They can afford that, even if making minimum wage. And they need to start doing that. And they will need to build up to $1,000. They can have $1,000 with no storage fees and no insurance costs. Free. That's what their $149 membership gives them. Now, they get a lot of other benefits. I'm not even going to go through that. We're just going to talk about saving gold and silver through the SoundMoney wallet. That's it. Today. Now, if you get the Legacy, and if you're working or you're already retired, that's what you need. You just need to bite the bullet, pay a little bit more, get all the benefits, and then get yourself into the habit of doing it until you build up $50,000 worth of gold and silver in your SoundMoney wallet. You get $50,000, no storage fees, and no insurance costs. Safe, secure, no hassle, and immediately available for instant liquidation anytime in case that emergency is needed. So they also give you $40 in your account. Your job is then to get up to that $50,000 if you're working or you're retired as soon as you possibly can. But you do it on the basis of what you can afford in your budget, in your time frame. No pressure. Now, if you are getting gold and silver, and people say, well, I want it in my hands. No, you don't. Well, I've been in gold and silver for 38 years. If you have it in your hands, yeah, you need to have a little in your hands. I agree with that. You're going to need to have some junk silver and a little bit of gold and a little bit of silver, out buried under the old apple tree. Don't keep it in the house. Okay. But when you need to turn it to cash, what are you going to do with it? Oh, yeah, you got to take it to the pawn shop, or you got to take it to the local coin dealer where they see you coming. You aren't going to get anywhere near 85% of spot if you're lucky. Well, You might know 3 of the largest online brokers. Well, that's a 3 to 6 week process. I've done that before. And you may not like the terms and what you got to do to just get spot. That's about the best they're going to give you. And if you look at 7K in your SoundMoney wallet, you get better than spot. Hello. That's one of the best buyback prices in the industry, if not the best in the industry. Well, that's why you want SoundMoney wallet. You buy in affordable quantities that you can, and getting comfortable with it, getting comfortable with the whole process. It's nothing more than opening up your account and getting started. That's all. We're going to turn off the 7K Pro, which is travel benefits and a whole bunch of other. But turn it off. Don't even worry about that. You can learn about that later if you want to take advantage of it. We're just talking about saving gold and silver, and this is the best way for you and I to do it and have it immediately available. And it is there. It's safe. It's fully insured, and it's audited by an independent third party every week. It has to be there. They have to have more than all of our increments added together. They have to have more gold in that vault than all of us put together. See, that's better than banks. They only have 10% of our cash in that bank vault. That's why they're afraid of run on banks if everybody wants their money back at the same time. Or a lot of people want their money back at the same time. They're in trouble. Well, here, SoundMoney's not in trouble. They got it right there. They can just ship it out to you or give it to you or buy it back from you. It's that simple. It's not complicated anymore, everybody. Hey, no government reporting, no 1099-Bs on you. It's private vaulting regulations. They're one of the biggest private vaulters in America is SoundMoney. Instant liquidation, just like I told you, it's amazing. Well, we also train you. We also teach you about gold and silver. We teach you what you've never been taught about on purpose before. We teach you about bullion and all the different aspects of bullion and spot price and the premiums on a silver eagle or maple leaf and what all that mean. So in lay language and computer, in little video training clips that are very good. You sit down and watch with your friends and family even to learn. Financial education as well. But there's a ton more benefits. We're not even going to talk about those. It just comes with a membership. You get to learn about it. Now, the basic is good, $149, but the legacy is better because remember what you get. So let's start your account right now. Let's get you enrolled. Let's get your account and get started. It's that simple. And I want to welcome you to 7K and your road to financial security and wealth building, because that's what we're all about. We like to meet once a week. We like for you to engage, because if you're not learning, you're not growing. And it's hard to grow wealth all by your own. It's better to do it in a team setting amongst people like-minded, like success. And so, 7K, I'm going to go and I'll give you a lot more in this that's going to be available in that PDF. But, I want you to understand that none of us are financial advisors or tax advisors. None of us in 7K. So we're just members of 7K and SoundMoney, and we're just sharing the benefits that we see for ourselves with others, and others find out about it through you and I. Now, there's a way that you can get paid for that if you're interested in that, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about wealth building. We're talking about building your own, buying and saving and building wealth for you, your future, your family's future, and securing wealth through gold and silver, just like governments and the wealthy do. I hope you see what I see. I hope you become a member of 7K and Sound Money and start your wealth building with us today, because it'll be the best decision you ever made other than your eternal life decision with Christ. Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to meeting all new members in 7K with us. Thank you.